Now let's talk about Gian. Well, Gian Inocencio, I did have a bit of history with him back then. If I remember, I think it was grade 5. Yeah, grade 5, people used to tease him about being the burger guy, dude, or whatever. But that's not how my history with him started. See, it was like this. If I remember correctly, our advisor was Miss Sabrina. Miss Sabrina, the science teacher. Yeah, Miss Sabrina. Then, I had this best friend of mine, my original best friend, Ren Santa Ines. And he did have a best friend back then. If I remember, I think it was Paulo Mailig. Yeah, it was Paulo Mailig. Then, these two would often tease Renz. Then Renz would often go to me and ask, Batino, can you help me from these bitches, etc., etc. So, of course, there would always be a two-on-two war every morning, and Miss Sabrina would always come to the hall, and kung hindi kayo titigil ngayon, hay, sasasip ko kayong lahat. She would always threaten us with that sad slip. Yeah, but it's okay. At least we had fun that day. But I think the reason why we didn't get along that much is because Gian back then was an anti-gay, and me and Renz just do what we wanted to do. We acted like fairies. We even brought Powerpuff Girl dolls. We even would like to trade Pokemons and also characters, especially the Misty Starmie, which I wouldn't forget the most. And so that's it for the grade 5. Yeah. So let's just make it to this point. Grade 5, me and Gian are brutally hated each other. But grade 6, I didn't really get to see him back then. I thought he transferred or something. I wasn't sure. Until grade 7, he became my classmate again. And in grade 7, we kind of got along. Yeah, we got along that just fine. Yeah, because I already admitted to the whole class I was gay back then. And if I remember correctly, he would do the funniest stuff that would entertain me every morning, especially with the Scarlett versus Isadora feud between him and Stephen Dano. That was really funny. Like every moment they would blast off each other with some drama lines like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, oh my gosh. So grade 7 we got along just fine, and we did share some same personalities, like we both are girly and stuff. We just kind of got along due to our attitude. So first year, that was the start when I think me and Gian had a total rift compared to grade 5. It was I think my history with the GNG as well. Because to be honest, my group is the first group to not be united with the other upper year levels. Yeah, like the SC, the GNG, and stuff. So, I got the feeling that, Gian wanted to, Gian and I think he was with Joem back then. Yeah, Joem. He wanted to, like, cool off or, like, create a group of his own or something. I really don't know what was the reason why he wasn't united with the other, GNG or gay groups that have passed us. So, yeah, so first year, I was with Yuhiko and V until one day they all kicked me out due to them not to be a part of any drama of our gay fights, because to be honest, I was the one who started the war between G and G, but partly it was also not me, it was also Joem. Yeah, so first year, I think it was the last month, I think. It was the last month when Yuhiko was the one who told me stuff about Gian, that he's too bossy, etc., etc. I also remember a fight when they had a fight about the chits and stuff. Yeah, but that was a funny fight actually, because Yuhiko got to headbutt Gian, which normally none of us can do. It was only Yuhiko. So yeah. And second year, so but by the way, that's it for the first year history. That's all I can remember about Gian during first year. But I do remember during the last day, he did apologize to me, him and I think Andres. Yeah, they both apologized to me, then they said they wanted me back in the group. And that's really sweet of both of them. Because they both normally don't do that, especially to me, but out of the goodness of their heart, they did apologize to me back then. When it's okay, forgive and forget. So let's move on to second year now. My second year history with Gian, if I remember, I chose Jonlin over Gian because Yuhiko opened up my eye back then that he didn't really like Gian that much, so I got to go to Jonlin. Then back then I had an issue because there was this one lower year gay. I don't know if he's gay or not. He's such a nigger. The way he looks at Gian really scares me to death. That's why when he did a bad finger to Gian and me, to both of us, I did defend Gian because like no one should ever do that to Gian because Gian is such a loving friend and despite the fact that me and him didn't really get along back then, he's a good friend, he's a cool friend, he's such a funny friend. So I defended him out of the goodness of my heart. And uh yeah, so I defended him. Then when Sir Jun got to talk to Gian, and I think he was with V, they both told me to hold your tears and be brave because I'm not gonna like what Sir Jun was gonna say back then. So there, when he got to counseling, Sir Jun actually told me to, as much as possible, stay away. No, not really literally stay away. Like at least lessen my hangout with the group. Like I need to find myself first. So when I did that, it was both Gian and Andres who wanted me back. Like you really didn't need to go, etc etc. We're your friends no matter what. That was sweet of them, trying to get me back despite the fact I wanted to find myself. But I said that I needed to do this. When Gian asked me why, I couldn't answer him because I was forbidden to tell anyone. But now Gian knows because Sir Jun actually told me to at least lessen my stuff with the group. And so that's it for second year. Yeah, that's it for second year. But I do remember there was also a mini fight between me and Gian during the second year. But that was just a mini fight. Yeah. So third year, that was the start where he really showed me that he was a true friend. Okay, it was like this. When I third year, it was an off year for me, Jolin, and Yuhiko. I'm gonna tell that when I talk about one of them. Okay. So here. Gian and Renz, they became my new best friends because no, they were my friends during second year, but my best friend rate increased when third year came. So there. And I remember a time when Gian actually asked me if he was pretty. I would always often say, of course, Gian, you're pretty. Then Gian would always tease me, di nga, seryoso. Then I was always like, yeah, Gian, come on, you're not ugly, etc., etc. So, there. Then, I would always remember this when, when me and Yuhiko came back as friends, he would often tell me that Gian, was still doing bad stuff to him. So, I kept teasing Gian about the doink doink doinky, yeah, stuff and stuff. Then there was a time Gian really opened up to me and he was teary-eyed back then, I think. Yeah, he said like, what did I ever do to you? Ano ba ginawa ko? Like, nag-sorry na nga ako sa'yo, diba? Bakit parang inaasar niyo pa rin ako? Ano ba ginawa ko? So, I did told Gian the truth and I told it was Yuhiko was telling me stuff and stuff. So, back then, I think we kind of suspended Yuhiko for, I think, a week, or I'm not sure. I think it was a week or two. Then, yeah, then. So then, when me, Andres, and Yuhiko went out, we kind of opened up, for, I think, the second to the last time. Yeah. So, when we opened up, when I told Gian and, Andres that I'm gonna change my habits of studying and I'm gonna change my fashion sense. Yeah. I promised Gian and Andres that I was gonna do my best in improving myself. And there was also a time when I got to bring Gian home. In my car, he was like giving me advices like tumino ka, umayos ka, future mo nakasalalay dyan. From that moment on, I really believe Gian was a true friend, and I honestly can't thank him enough for all the support. And from that day on, I really couldn't find a reason to hate him. Literally, I mean, if there was some differences between me from him and then from here and then, I would just probably, just let it go because that happens between friends. You have lots of misunderstandings. You guys fight, like literally, but that happens when you've got a friend. Like you've got misunderstandings and stuff. But at least we learn from our mistakes. So now that we're fourth year, Gian really was a friend to me. He's such a sweet person. I remember a time when during our, I think it was the building of the star. Yeah, like when we all had to wear green. No, the grades who had to wear green and we had to all wear white. I remember a time when the guy who was up in the cameraman, I think he was saying, "Okay, let's dance, throw your business up in there, woo!" Then Gian was like, "Same sex marriage." You know, Gian made my day that day, and he was so funny back then. And I would always treasure how me and Gian play with each other. Play like kids, like we would hold each other's hands and we would spin around. It was so funny of us. It was kind of a childish thing, but it was fun. So that's it for Gian. I love him to death. I would always remember him, and I hope to see him soon in my future endeavors. Gian, just remember, I'm always a friend who's here for you, and I'm always gonna be fond of listening to your stories. Yeah. So, love from Batish.